Well, boys and girls, here we are again, and it is time that we say our final bow and goodbye to this project. Probably shouldn't come as a surprise to you because we've been doing this for the last 2 years, so you should know what I'm talking about, but in case you don't, well, I guess you'll have to stick around. Let's get in... what do I say? Shit. Boys and girls, we are back to downsizing the crested geckos for the last time. This will be our last round of downsizing. Everything else are going to be the very few pairs that I'm keeping are going to be ones to keep and continue the line breeding generations that I've been personally doing for Super Dalmatians. I've already explained why I've made the choice to downsize the cresteds from the bunch that we've had. I think we had like 20 or 30 parents at one point and producing hundreds of baby crested geckos. However, if you're new here or maybe you didn't watch that video, I'll give a quick summary before we show off the amazing dudes that we will be putting up as available. Started downsizing the crested gecko project a couple of years back in 2023 when we first started Project Jungle. What Project Jungle is, that was the case where I was taking each and every one of my vivariums that we had here and transforming them into beautiful bioactive enclosures. It then transcended into me opening a side business selling bioactive products, plants, cleanup crew, soils, all the good stuff basically. As I kept on this bioactive journey and the bioactive side business started making more and more money, I became to change my philosophy on how I wanted to breed reptiles. I no longer wanted to be the big bad reptile breeder producing hundreds to thousands of animals, but more so wanted to focus on individual projects that I either have a very high passion for or things that I think need more numbers in the captive bred species within this community. And if there's one thing if there is one thing that we definitely don't need more numbers on when it comes to captive bred animals in this hobby, boy, is that gonna be crested geckos. Jesus Christ. And in at like, what, number 2, maybe number 3 of the most bred and saturated market that we have in this field, there is no need for me to be doing crested geckos. I don't have the crazy passion about them like I do with, say, the tokays, then I really don't need to be breeding them, and that's just kind of the point that we're at this point. Over the 2024 year, we did get rid of most of the animals we had, and I just had one more round of about 5 or 6 different geckos that need to head on out, so then I will be completely focusing on the Super Dalmatians that we have. I've just been doing that project since 2019, so it's been 7 years now where I've been like cohesively working on a Super Dal project, so that's something I don't want to get rid of. I have some really nice lineage that I've made over the generations, so I do want to continue going with that, but everything else that isn't about the Tiger Super Dal or the Super Dalmatian is just something that we're not going to be working with here anymore. Brings us to what exactly is leaving here? What is left to get out so we can focus on other projects? Well, let's check it out. Up on the chopping block is going to be this absolutely gorgeous lily white. Unfortunately, halfway through shed, so you see this beautiful pattern that it has in the front. However, the back is still in shed, unfortunately. Absolutely beautiful possible female. I don't see any pores as of yet, and this thing's rocking around, I'd say like the 12 to 14 gram range, so we should be seeing some pores at this point. So I'm going to go on a guess and say this is female. Originally produced by First Class Geckos, I bought this baby as like a 2 or 3 gram, like fresh little baby, and then grew it out for about a year, I want to say. However, this is a pattern animal, and it's just something I don't need to be focusing on. Absolutely beautiful lineage, beautiful animal. I love the yellow lines going down it, the yellow on the pin, then of course the high pattern, high contrast this thing has going on. But like I said, we don't need pattern crested geckos anymore, so this one's up for grabs. Next up on this list is going to be this probable female quad stripe crested gecko, an absolutely beautiful girl. She's rocking around the 15 to 17 gram size, and I don't see no balls, I don't see no pores, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good female. Only a plan for this girl to be paired with that lily white. Unfortunately, that turned into a possible girl or my cappuccino male. However, the point of the matter is I don't need patterns anymore, and although this girl is absolutely awesome, great pattern, beautiful crest, beautiful full pinstripe, beautiful quad stripe, it's a beautiful gecko. The fact of the matter is we don't need patterns anymore, so this one is also going to be up for grabs. Beautiful holdback. I've had this thing for a couple of years now, and by next season it should be ready to go. Unless you don't feed it that much, then it won't be ready to go. I guess we have a pattern of today, and that's going to be the lily whites are going to be in shed. These are 2 ready to breed proven girls that are not going to be listed yet because they are laying right now. And obviously don't ship out laying females. If they're laying eggs, that stress of shipping out could involve negative aspects like egg impaction, things like that. So I like to wait till they're done laying to ship them. So while these guys aren't available yet, they will be towards the end of the year when they stop breeding. Beautiful red-based lily white. She was paired to that cappuccino, so we will have frat babies as well, but this will be the last time time that we ever have frap babies. An awesome girl, a little bit skittish, obviously going to be a little bit more since she is in shed, but an awesome girl that'll do great for projects if you're interested at the end of the year. Rad choice that's going to be up for grabs is this beautiful white wall pinstripe. Pretty good crest, not the best of the best, but it's not going to have a kite crest or anything like that. Absolutely beautiful pattern, beautiful pinning, and she is a proven female that's been giving us eggs for the last 3 years, I want to say. That was also paired to the cappuccinos, so later in the year we will be hatching out some cappuccinos and then some beautiful pattern stuff as well. But once again, last time of the year we'll be doing this, and then of course this girl and the red base lily white will be up for grabs. Of course, other than these holdback releases and the adults that we will be parting ways with, we still have a little bit left of the 2024 babies. I believe we have 5 or 6 still available before the 2025 stuff starts hatching and everything like that. So let's do a little montage and show off all the cool dudes that we have available right now. There's some awesome crested geckos and gargoyle geckos, but I do want to shine a little spotlight on some of these other species. Now, this is going to be a Chihuahua gecko, the one and only one that we produced back in 2024. Actually, awesome little dude. This one hatched out as a little bit of a runt. It hatched very small, and it's been taking quite a few months to finally get some size. However, it's finally at a point where I feel comfortable enough, where it's eating enough, pooping enough, and gaining weight, where I feel comfortable that this baby is going to be available up for grabs. We also have it posted on Morph Market, an absolutely amazing little Chihuahua gecko. There's some awesome dudes that we have up for grabs over here in this part of the room. However, we still have more stuff that is either about to be available or is available right now. So why don't we go take a look? However, first things first, you know, I'm already here. I might as well go do some egg hunting since we're close to the end of the month. Not the worst egg hunt we've had this year. We did get about 5, well, we got 7 eggs, but only 5 are good. 2 are going to be some duds. We got some nice blotch stuff, some retic to bold red stripe stuff when it comes to the gargoyles, and then for the cresteds, we did get 2 more eggs of the Tiger Super Dalmatian, which is a pairing that I am super excited to see when it hatches out. Enough of that, let's move on and see some more awesome stuff that is going to be available to you guys. First thing I do want to talk about is all the stuff that is in this tent right now, but of course, in order to do that, we're going to have to. Quick, boys and girls, before we continue on with today's video, I just want to talk a little bit about the website. Over at DakotaBlueExotics.com, you can get everything you could possibly need when it comes to bioactive vivariums. Includes an all assortment of plants. We got arboreal, trailing, tropical, air plants, bromeliads, all of that good stuff. Drainage layer, your substrates. We got an absolutely great mix that I personally use for each and every one of my bioactive vivariums that have been growing the plants that you guys see in all of our videos. The substrate is absolutely fantastic. An assortment of cleanup crew. We just restocked in our isopods. We have a multitude of different varieties when it comes to your isopods, and of course the springtails you will also need for any bioactive vivarium. Want to take the guesswork out? You just want a bunch of plants and get your bio kit ready? Well, we have bio kits available. Take the guesswork out, let the expert do the job for you. Something that interests you guys, we have a link right down there in description, or you can head on over to DakotaBlueExotics.com. Look at that editing, absolutely magical. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna be enough of the ad plug-in. Thank you guys so much. Let's get back into the video. All right, enough messing around. Let's talk about and wrap this bad boy up. So the other thing that we did post up for grabs when it comes to New Caledonian is going to be this Chihuahua gal right here. As you guys know, she's given me a problem for the last couple of years laying eggs, and philosophy over here is if you ain't making eggs for 2 years, you're getting the boot, unless I really like you. And unfortunately, the Chihuahua does not make a list. And it might sound harsh, but we have hundreds of reptiles over here. You gotta cut it off at some point, and the Chihuahua, unfortunately, did not make that cutoff, is what I'm getting at. We'll have the other pair of Chihuahua geckos that are producing eggs, so we will have Chihuahua geckos in 2025. But when it comes to this girl, maybe someone just wants a really nice pet. She's a great looking girl, great temperament. Or if you want to try and maybe the male's the problem, I don't know. Bursty over here, we're gonna boot the female. I want to get a nice Pine Island female, maybe something with a nice white collar, something that fits the male just a little bit better, so we can get some really nice high expression Chihuahuas. And if the same thing happens, then I'll sell the male and get a new male, or I'll just stop with this pair and call it quits. Who knows? However, the point of the matter is that female is up for grabs if you guys are interested. After so long, we actually have some exciting news to talk about on this shelf right here. Although, you know what, we have been doing some P. lineata. I did see another collection there. I gotta go grab those real quick. However, when it comes to stuff like the anoles, I failed incubating the Makuba egg, and about a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, I can't exactly remember, when I was missing this Marmoratus cage, I actually found a baby in there, and so we grabbed it, we set it up in the 8x8x12, and at that point I figured, well, I'm not incubating them right, and the bio substrate seems to be doing well enough, so I stopped looking for eggs on this shelf, and now we've hatched out our second Marmoratus. So we have 2 baby Marmoratuses that were hatched out in this Viv, and then I take them out, I set them up in their 8x8x12 baby enclosures. So far, no Makuba or Carolinsis, but I have seen the females grab it, and I have seen her digging, so there's probably eggs in there. I figured, you know what, don't fix it if it ain't broken. If the eggs are hatching perfectly fine in this substrate, then why should I move them and risk messing it up in the incubator? Now leads us to the end of the road. This bad boy section over here. The Clemmer, I haven't been doing nothing. The female still looks gravid, but I gotta make sure they're the right sex. I probably should be doing that, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. Urodactylotes, I've been talking to a couple buddies. I think I'm gonna do the same rotation that I am doing with the anoles, and that's going to be let the eggs sit in there, and we're just gonna run it the same as the anoles. Just leave them in there. I'm tired of digging these intricate enclosures and not finding any eggs, so at least when a baby hatches out, I know for sure a baby's in there before I go messing the whole thing up and having to put it back together. I have some Uri eggs going here in the near future. Well, I guess babies. I don't know if there's eggs in there or not. Morning geckos have been doing fantastic. If you guys don't know, I do have a little colony of morning geckos. We have 3 babies in here, and there are 2 more babies I need to grab out of the Viv and set up in here. So morning geckos will become available very soon. Of course, Patreon will see them first, as the same can be said with the Anolis marmoratus. These are going to be where the babies are for right now. I'm going to give these guys a little bit to pack on some weight. They're very small, very skittish. However, once I feel they are ready, good enough size, good enough weight, good enough age to get going, you guys can get those first, as long as the Patreon crew doesn't take them. Subtle hint to join the Patreon crew. Boys and girls, it is that time of the time again to do it, the outro. That is gonna wrap it up for today. If that wasn't enough egg hunting and gecko madness for you guys, check out this playlist we got going on of how the season is going for us so far in the 2025 year, or maybe you wanna check out this video right here, which has something, and I'm sure it is great. As always, thank you so much for taking the time in your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.